All right, so this one is a little bit different. Now, we still have to make our box. So it's x squared plus 4x, then your box. The plus 1, you just move it down outside of the parentheses. It doesn't have an x, so it can't be in the group. All right, you just move it down out of the way. All right, so that's a new step. It's different from circles. Anybody have a question on that? Good? Now, Paisley, to fill in the box, we do the same thing we did yesterday. What's half of 4? 2. Squared plus 4. Now, here's a new step. Bree, make sure y'all watch. Whatever you add to one side, you got to add to the other side of the equal sign, right? Now, yesterday, our equal sign was over here. Today, it's over here. Now, watch this. We can't leave the plus 4 over there. There's no other numbers over there. So I'm going to move it behind it, put a minus 4 there. All right, so do we need to explain that in? Instead of, yesterday what we did, if we had a plus 4 in the box, we put a plus 4 down here because we had the equal sign right there. So we added on both sides. Today, if you put a plus 4 there, I got to put a minus 4 there because we're putting them on the same side. And to keep it even, 4 and negative 4 give you 0. So we haven't changed the value of the equation. All right, so that is a new step. Question there.
So 4 won't be on the equal side at all?
We're not going to put anything on the left side of the equal sign on this problem. Unlike yesterday where we had numbers on the left and the right.
I have a double question.
All right, go.
The 4 came from the 4 cut in half.
Plus 4 here, put a minus 4 there to keep it
I know,
even.
but how'd you get that from the 4?
Half of 4 is 2 and squared. All right, so what goes into parentheses? Same thing we did yesterday. It's going to be x plus something. What is it?
2.
X plus 2. Same thing as yesterday. Everybody good? All right, now we got to find our vertex. All right, how do we find the vertex? You look in the parentheses and you flip the sign on that one. So it's negative 2, negative 3. That's our vertex for the parabola. Stop, see if anybody has a question. Okay, now let's graph this on the graph over here. Go to negative 2, negative 3, everybody put a point. Negative 2, negative 3, put a point. All right, now for the rest of the problem, it's what we did about 6 weeks ago, maybe 8 weeks ago. We've got to plug in 4 points so we can graph it, know where the parabola, or know what it looks like. Do you guys remember how we chose our 4 points 8 weeks ago?
2 to the left and to the right.
Good, Anna. 2 on the right, 2 on the left of your vertex. So on the right, we're going to plug in negative 1 and 0. On the left, we're going to plug in negative 3 and negative 4. Same thing we did a couple months ago. All right, question about that step. How do you put it in the calculator? We're going to put it right here. All right, what I just circled, guys, that is our vertex form of the equation. So I'm going to ask you for vertex form on the test. You just have to set it up that way. That's vertex form. Plug your numbers in. I'm going to plug negative 1 right here. It's going to be negative 1 plus 2 in parentheses squared minus 3. Let's plug it in and see what we get. Negative 1 plus 2 squared with a minus 3 behind it. Answer is negative 2. Our first answer is negative 2. You can do it in your head. Great, do it in your head. All right, next I'm going to plug 0 right here. So it would be 0 plus 2 squared. What'd y'all get? Positive 1. If I get positive 1 on that one. Now I'm going to plug negative 3 plus 2 squared. Negative 3 plus 2 squared minus 3. I got negative 2. So look, just follow the pattern. I know the last one's got to be positive 1. If these two are negative 2, then these two have to be positive 1. Here. All right, so let's graph it and we will be done. Negative 1, negative 2, over 0, up 1. Alright, that is how you do number one. We found vertex form, we found the vertex, and we graphed the parabola. Alright, anybody got a question for me on number one? That's new stuff, so you're probably going to need 3 or 4 problems before it sinks in. Alright, I can go to number 2.
Yes.
Alright, we're going to do the same thing on number 2 that we did on number 1. 1, 2, and 3 are all the same type problems. You're getting 4 is something new. Alright, so we're going to create a group. I'll move the +3 down. See if y'all can fill in the box and do the first step. Let's try to keep your phones up during this. All right, Sebastian, how do we fill in the box? What's half of 6?
3.
So I got 3 squared. So I got a +9 here, which means I've got to put a -9 there to keep it equal. If you got a +9 and a -9 on the same side, you haven't changed the value of the equation. All right, Sebastian, what goes into parentheses? It's got to be x plus something. X plus half of that number, so it's x plus 3. Now to find your vertex, I flip this sign, Sebastian, because it's inside the parentheses. So that's -3 and -6. That is your vertex. Go to -3, -6. Everybody put a point right there. Now, we got to pick 4 numbers to plug in so we can see what our graph looks like. So, Ellie, how do I choose my 4 numbers again? How do I pick them? Good. 4 closest to the vertex. So, 2 on the right is -2 and -1. 2 on the left is -4 and -5. -1, -2, -4, -5. Everybody good with that? How we pick them? All right, Tristan, plug in -1 right here. Plug in your calculator. Tell me what you get. -2. Let's see if that's what I get. I agree. That's -2. All right, Ryan Wright, plug in -2 right here. Plug that in your calculator. Let's see what you get. Sorry. Plug -2 right here, +3 squared with a -6 behind it. See if that's what I get. -5, correct. All right, Mallory, what did you get when you plugged in -4? -5, so the last one's got to be -2. Just follow the pattern. Savannah.
Are we having just a quiz, or is it just a test or what?
Test Friday is the plan. May have to have it Monday. It's also the stuff we did yesterday too. All right, question before I graph it? All right, graph your points now. -1, -2, -2, -5. And there is our parabola. Anybody have a question? All right, number 3 should be exactly like 1 and 2. See if you can do it by yourself. See how far you can get before you get stuck. Hopefully you won't get stuck. Follow the same steps. 4, 5, and 6 are different, so I would hold up.
Would you divide by the number?
They're new and different, guys, I would hold up on that. Finish 3. First new step. Last week on the circle problems, we divided everything by 2, correct? All right, this week we're not doing that. This week we are only dividing the numbers that are inside the group by 2. What do I do with the 14? I just move it down out of the way and you don't mess with it because it's not in the group. So I get x squared plus 6x right here. So that's the first new step. All right, Jenna, explain to me what goes in the box.
You half the 6 and then
Half of 6 is
square.
3, square it's 9. So, everybody's good there. All right, here's the second new step. What do y'all think goes out here?
Wait. Minus 9?
It's going to be minus 18.
Because you multiply by 2? Okay.
I'm so confused.
Okay, so let's start over.
Oh.
Let's start over. Paisley, which part do you have a question on? No, it stays. All right, first of all, Paisley, do you understand why I have this out here? Okay, if there's a number in front of the x squared, you're going to divide by that number, so put it out front. So what I did was 2 divided by 2 gave me x squared, 12 divided by 2 gave me 6. The plus 14, I just move it on the back. You don't divide it because it's not in the group.
Why'd you do minus 18?
I'm going to show that.
You have to move it across.
All right, so how did I get minus 18 back here? Here's how. What do you get when you times these two numbers together?
18.
Positive 18.
Why are you
So back here, you're timesing it because now you have a number in front of the parentheses. And when you have a number in front of the parentheses, we have to times these two to get 18. So back here I put a negative 18.
You moved it across the line.
So would it be?
Now, other than that, everything else should be the same.
So
So,
when you plug it back in, you leave it.
yes.
Why are you putting the 2 back out there when you've already used it?
It stays out there the whole time. Do not get rid of it. Because when you plug numbers in, Paisley, you've got to have it out here times by 2. All right, Jenna, what goes inside the parentheses?
X plus 3.
X plus 3. That is our vertex form. Jenna, what's the vertex?
Negative 3 and positive 8.
Nope.
You don't
When you
want
add
that?
those up, you get negative 4. So now it's just negative 3 and negative 4. That is your vertex.
So what do you do with 2?
Negative 3, negative 4. It stays there. So now when you
That's
plug
just
your
part of the
numbers in, that's where it is. That's what's going to hold it accountable.
So that's just the formula when they ask for it?
Savannah,
Why do you have a negative 3?
why do I have a negative 3? Whatever's in the parentheses, you got to flip your sign. So that's a negative 3. All right, so Savannah, how do we pick our 4 numbers that we have to plug in? Good. 2 on the left is negative 4 and negative 5. 2 on the right is negative 2 and negative 1. Now, you have to plug it in, and this is where you'll use this 2 that's in front. When you plug it in the calculator, it's going to times by 2. So, give y'all a chance to do that. Now, this is the first problem we've done on this. We'll do several. After 3 or 4 of them, y'all get the hang. I always get the hang. You guys are really smart.
Some of us are. Me, not so much.
X minus 3 squared in parentheses. Plus y plus 2 in parentheses squared equals square that and you get 20.25. Alright, so negative 4, 1 squared is 1, 2. Nolani, did you get an answer yet when you plugged in negative 4?
Yes.
What you got?
I got negative 2.
Yeah, that's what I got.
Question mark?
That's
Wait,
right. So
wait, what?
negative 5 through 2, 2 squared.
So you don't touch the 2 at all after that?
What, when you plug your numbers in, that's where you times it by 2.
Okay.
I got 4 for the next one, correct? Somebody give me a thumbs up, I'm doing it in my head.
I didn't do it that way. I did it.
I just put mine in different order.
No, that doesn't matter.
Mine
I know,
too.
but I was just like, I
Order
was
doesn't
like, I
matter.
got it wrong.
Negative 2 is 1, square root 2 minus 2, -2. So -2, 4, -2.
Is half of 9 4 and a half?
So,
What's that?
Is half of 9 4 and a half?
Yes. -4, -2, 5, up 4.
squared?
Alright, there's number 4, there's the parabola. Alright, so we'll definitely have to go back over 5 and 6, going over these new steps. Anna, we still roll?
We're gonna pause it?
No. When I get done with 6, you turn it
Alright.
off then. Alright, let's go to 5. Alright, if I lose you at any point, stop me.
I'm lost at
15, we're at 5.
Alright, so Sarah, what do we divide everything by to start off?
3.
So we put a 3 out front. Remember, you move the plus 6 down because it's not in the group, so you don't divide by it. So I get an x squared, 9 divided by 3 is 3x. Alright, I'll stop here and see if anybody has a question yet.
Never mind, I missed it. Easy.
Oh, negative.
JK, I'm so lost.
Alright, now this part, some kids in first block did get stuck. So, Paisley, how do I fill in the box? What's half of 3?
Half.
1.5, right? So now we've got to square that. I don't know what that is. So now how do you find half of 3? Just divide it by 2 if you need to. 1.5 squared is 2.25. That goes in the box, 2.25. All right, question about that part? Now, what goes out here? That's the hardest part, I think.
-2.
You got to times these two together. So let's times them. 3 times 2.25. It gave me 6.75. So I put a minus 6.75 out there. All right, everybody understand how I got a minus 6.75?
How'd you get a minus 0.75?
I added these two up and it gave me minus 0.75. All right, what goes in the parentheses? X plus what?
1.5.
Good, x plus 1.5. Everybody good? All right, Savannah, what's the vertex going to be? All right, flip the sign on this one, remember, because it's inside parentheses, so it's negative 1.5. And you bring this one down, negative 0.75. That is our vertex.
Negative.
Flip the sign on this one, you don't flip the sign on the one that's not in the parentheses. I got a negative, Anna, when I added these two up. 6 plus negative 6.75, it gave me negative 0.75.
Oh, I thought the negative, I thought the positive and
Yeah, I
negative.
thought 6.75
Okay,
was
we're good.
positive and then the minus 6. So I was like, how do you?
Wait.
All right, so
Yeah, we're good. Never mind.
let's now graph the vertex. All right, so I go, how do I go back negative 1.5?
1 and
Negative 1.5. Then go down, how do I go down 0.75?
You almost go all
Almost
the way.
1, right there. There's your point. Right? You almost go down 1. All right, now, some kids in first block had trouble picking their 4 numbers, so let's pick them. They were saying, hey, let's plug in negative 2.5, negative 3.5. I would not plug in decimals. I would plug in negative 1 and negative 2 on the right and left. And I would plug in 0 and negative 3. 2 on the right, 2 on the left. All right, pause it.
See the answers, they're like, what is it?
All right, question on 5 before we go to 6. All right, let's go to 6.
You have 3 minutes.
Okay. All right, so number 6. Everybody look at it. What are we going to divide by on number 6? Negative 2, right? So I put a negative 2 there. I move down to minus 10 because it's not in the group. I don't divide it by negative 2. So I get an x squared. 8 divided by negative 2 is negative 4. It's in my box. All right, Miss Miss Maggie, explain to me how I fill in the box,
Take half of -4
which is 2.
and square it, which is 4.
So I got a +4 there, that's the easy part. Here's the hard part, what number goes out here?
Positive 8?
Say it again.
Positive 8?
Positive 8.
Oh,
When you
yeah.
times these two, that's -8, right? So I gotta put positive 8 out there. Very good. Alright, I'm gonna stop and see if y'all can finish the whole problem.
How are you doing?
You lost.
Go ahead, Sarah. Good?
I keep on forgetting to edit, divide everything.
Where are you getting positive?
Positive 8. I times these two numbers, Paisley, and that's -8. Put a positive 8 out here to keep it even. -8, positive 8 is 0. It's like you never added anything.